In this world, if you can't swim,
You found it, Tristan.
yeah. And if you fall,
You better pick your punk ass up.
that's right.
I'm Katie. It's nice to meet you, Katie. Do you want to hang out? Okay.
M3GAN, your goal is to protect Katie from harm, both physical and emotional.
Is that a doll?
Model 3 generative android.
M3GAN, did you push Brandon onto the road? I won't let anything harm you.
M3GAN, turn off.
Recalibrating response model.
What's going on, YouTube? We back in the Low Key Cave, Keyshawn Nimes YouTube page, aka Mr. Low Key, and we are back with another movie review. This time we got M3GAN. This is definitely the one I've been looking forward to. Definitely the most anticipated movie, and the fact that I'm getting a chance to check this out early, I was definitely hyped and excited. Man, was I disappointed? Guess I'll give y'all the answer throughout my review. This is produced by JAMESWAN and it's produced by BLUMHOUSE, so definitely those horror aspects I felt like was going to be there, and I wasn't disappointed with certain moments, even certain little surprises, not really like reveals or anything like that, but surprises with M3GAN and her maneuvering, the way she would chase people and stuff like that. It was some good little moments in there, even reminded me kind of the Evil Dead, as far as the maneuvering, as far as the way, I ain't gonna call them zombies, or the people that be possessed. Even in that recent Evil Dead we got, speaking of Evil Dead, I know we're supposed to get a little teaser trailer tomorrow, can't wait for that. But yes, man, Meg, plot wise, we get this little girl named Caddy who ends up going to live with her aunt, Gemma, after her parents end up dying in a car wreck. Once again, that's not spoilers, that's actually in the trailer, and this is going to be a spoiler-free review. In the midst of her doing that, she's depressed. I mean, she just went through a horrific incident with her parents dying in front of her. So the fact that she just moved in with her aunt, which I don't think she even really knows like that, because the relationship between her aunt and her mother, I don't know if they was really close like that. And the way it's presented, it seemed like they wasn't that close, but they talked to each other somewhat. I'm guessing, but maybe y'all can let me know if I'm wrong. But I remember the next door neighbor asking her, like, it was the neighbor. Was somebody asking her about her sister, and I don't know if she had, I remember them asking because of the fact of her being a parent, and did she want to take on that role as far as being Katie's guardian. My bad if I got a little confused on that, but I'm trying to remember if they had like a close relationship as far as Gemma and Katie's mom. But in the midst of this, Gemma, she's a toy maker. She's a creator. Not only is she a toy maker, she's a toy collector. I mean, she enjoys toys or whatever. She enjoys creating things too. So in the midst of Katie coming to stay with her, she's in the process of making this new creation for them to sell as far as this new toy or whatever. And they trying to get something on the market as soon as possible because they done had this presentation that they supposed to be presenting, and they done been using this money for what she's trying to do as far as this prototype. Not really M3GAN at first, but it's something else which she eventually ends up turning into M3GAN. It's kind of after she gets this little response with Katie, after she shows her like this other little prototype thing she has that's not really like M3GAN, but it's kind of like this not VR, but it's like this, man, it's like a little machine thing or like this robot thing that she can control with her hands or whatever. And after this little interaction that she has with Katie and this other toy that she has, this kind of gives her the idea to come up with M3GAN or whatever because of this response Katie has as far as when she shows her this other toy that she has as far as this other robot. So after this, she goes in the process of making M3GAN, and her team puts this development together with M3GAN, and M3GAN comes to life. But it's really what happens when M3GAN and Katie starts to interact with each other, because as soon as she's pretty much done or whatever, her first thing she does is introduce this to her boss as far as Gemma, because her boss is all over her because they're supposed to be introducing this new toy, because when the movie first come on, we getting this like little commercial of a toy. The thing that this movie really reminds me of as far as M3GAN is definitely that reboot or that remake of Child's Play that he did with the whole little artificial intelligence thing, and you know, the new Andy that we was kind of getting in that one, getting that toy or whatever. that does kind of remind me of that. But this movie, this movie would have been better, I would say, if rated R. Rated R. It need that rated R. What I will say is, if Child's Play would have been done in the way that M3GAN was done, it would have been a whole lot better. That's what I will say about this, because you could tell that PG-13 in moments that they was trying to hold back, especially with this. What I will say with this, though, as far as her, it's the relationship she starts to build as far as M3GAN and Katie. And it's the bond they start to build. And this movie really, really goes and really, really tries to throw in your face the whole thing of technology taking over as far as kids. You know how you had this whole situation with parents or whatever, they might be busy, they might have certain things going on, and they might throw on something on the TV. You know, a lot of things going on as far as with YouTube, you know, and technology or whatever. And that whole thing with even something like a, what's the thing that a lot of little kids like Baby Shark, do you know the things they had out here? And it's that whole thing with letting technology raise your kids. That's basically kind of this message that this movie is trying to send too, especially with Gemma. But being that she's a new parent, you kind of understand her position, because she wasn't used to doing this. She wasn't a parent at all. Being that now she's the guardian of Katie, it's kind of a new experience for her. So once they start to get into these moments, it's really interesting because they touch on a lot of things, especially the things Katie is going through emotionally, and the fact that she's genuinely able to gravitate towards M3GAN, because M3GAN is always there, and M3GAN is listening to her, and M3GAN is responding to her. And that's the thing, though. This is shit I don't understand about these movies. Not even just these artificial intelligence movies dealing with these type of things, but even with those creature movies. Think about a movie like Deep Blue Sea, where you made the shark smarter. Why would you make something like this, as far as M3GAN, a doll like this, and have it with the capability of learning? Because that's the whole thing with M3GAN. She's learning all the time, and that's the thing. I get it kind of, because it was the fast process as far as what Gemini was trying to do, because they was trying to get this presentation in order for their boss, because if they didn't, they could possibly not only get fired, but get sued because of the money they'd used to put this stuff together. So I get why they was in a fast process of putting this together. The whole thing was she didn't have enough time to develop certain malfunctions for M3GAN, and that's why she starts to go, not even haywire, but starts to develop her own personality, basically. Because the whole thing with her and Katie, as far as M3GAN, is it's this type of response she has as far as being able to link towards her. Same thing with like an iPhone or something, or same thing. Think about when you have a phone and it can only open or unlock with your face recognition. I'm not gonna get too deep into it, because once again I'm trying to say spoiler free, but it's kind of something like similar to that when they trying to do this whole thing with M3GAN and Katie, as far as her only being able to kind of not control M3GAN, but the only one M3GAN kind of responds to in a certain way as far as protection. But yes, the relationship between Katie and M3GAN, it's interesting for the fact that the way Katie starts acting towards Gemma, her aunt, man. Once again, I understand Katie going through some things as far as the fact she just lost her parents, but man, the way she starts disrespecting Gemma, and Gemma is just so nonchalant about everything, and you get what she's trying to do as far as the way she's trying to handle Katie, because she even got a therapist coming over there, and the therapist is basically AKA a DSS worker who's trying to make sure Katie is in a safe environment. And that shit, man, it's just this thing that happens at the beginning of the movie, where the therapist first comes over, and it's like she's saying certain things to Gemma as far as her safety, and it's like, nigga, it was a situation with a toy, and it's like, you going off of that? Stop, man, stop. And it's the whole thing with the therapist, aka the social worker. But anyway, in the process of them building this relationship, that whole thing as far as technology raising your kids, you start to see that emotional tie with Katie and M3GAN. She's not really getting that from Gemma, because Gemma is kind of just saying, here, M3GAN, you take over while I try to do what I'm doing as far as getting this presentation together and doing what she's doing as far as her job. So that kind of takes Gemma concentration off dealing with Katie and what she has going on, especially dealing with losing her parents, to kind of let M3GAN take over. So that's kind of where the friction comes in between those two. And I'll let y'all watch the movie to kind of see those moments, but I'm telling you, Katie had her ass whooping coming. Not an ass whoop, but a butt whooping coming. She needed a tail whooped a couple times, man. That little girl, man, it was one scene in the car, was like, But the moments M3GAN starts to get into her thing as far as actually these thriller moments, well, basically kills. It's the whole thing with the kills, man. because most of the people she going after, I ain't gonna front, they assholes. I mean, majority of this movie is dealing with assholes, even somewhat the aunt, because it's like, nigga, you know what this little girl is going through. You brought her in your house, but it's the way you kind of acting towards her, like nonchalant about everything. It's like, I mean, I know you just lost your parents, but you know, we're trying to do this presentation. You know, I'm trying to make sure I save face with my job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Can you do this? And I know they kind of was playing on that with the movie anyway, because of trying to build that little friction or whatever. But it was just funny to me because she was just so nonchalant about it, and you kind of get why Katie was reacting the way she was reacting towards her aunt. But in the midst of this, once again, this movie's about Megan. And it's how she starts to react to situations. And once again, I gotta say, this movie ain't scary. In my opinion, it's not that scary to me. It has great creepy moments, but it's really not that scary. Megan has some great moments as far as creep factor. The bully in this movie, I gotta touch on this, man. This nigga was a straight up live version of Sid from Toy Story. If they ever made a live movie from Toy Story, he is perfect for Sid. And I don't know if they was even trying to play off that a little bit, being that this is based off toys, you know what I'm saying, and the whole doll thing. But as soon as he came on, the thing I love about these horror movies is they gonna make sure they give you the most obnoxious bully of bullies. Like, you didn't care what happened to this nigga, because as soon as he's introduced, he's immediately let you know that he's an asshole. I don't care what age he is. And even with that, Katie now, I mean, even her aunts mention this, and it's like, hold on, how old is this nigga? Because he looks like he's way older than the rest of the kids as far as this little camp or school thing they're trying to do for Katie or whatever. But yes, this nigga's a live version of Sid, man. Even the way he talks and the way he reacts, it seems like, yo, this nigga Sid. That's the only thing I could think about when they introduce him, man. But yeah, man, him and Meg's interaction is definitely one for the books. I'm not gonna get too much into detail about it, but that trailer, I mean, it didn't shy too much away from what actually happens with him. On the other note, though, overall, the movie has some very good moments. Chasings, it has some very good chasings. The trailer, I will say this, man, the trailer, I ain't gonna say it gave too much away, but it kind of gave some of those good moments away that I think when you watched it, if you would have watched it in the theaters and got those and caught those moments for the first time, it would have been a good moment to catch for the first time instead of seeing it in the trailer. But I get what they was trying to do, definitely for promotion, to see what you was trying to get. On the other end, Megan is definitely outrunning Annabelle, man. Once again, you talking about this lazy Annabelle ass nigga that just be wanting to sit there and let demons and everybody else do their ghouls and goblins and let them do everything while she just sit there and pose. Not in Megan. Not Megan. Annabelle, though. Annabelle, lazy, still lazy. And thank you for giving us Megan, because I think we can get more things coming, because at the end of this movie, it is a little something. I'm not going to say what it is, but it is a little something. And it's not no heavy shit where it's like, oh, of course, that she's going to be back. Nothing like that. But it's an indication where it makes sense. And it's like, oh, okay. I see what they're doing, because throughout the movie, they're kind of playing on this. And you will know what I'm talking about once the movie ends and you see what I'm saying. I don't know if they got a post-credit scene. I don't think I ain't sticking around for that, because they might do. Y'all will definitely find out or let me know. But outside of that, man, it's more so characters. Do we get characters that we care about? I gotta say, at the beginning, it was like, because they was, once again, this movie is making everybody an asshole, and it's even including Katie and her Aunt Jim at times. Like, I'm not fronting, man. I know once again what Katie went through, but she is like on some demon time in certain times, especially when she starts to really build this bond with Megan, and it kind of feel like Jim is kind of getting in the way of certain moments, and Katie starts to really go off. But you get it, because once again, it's the emotional ties that she has. When she done been through the trauma she done been through, it's that reliance that she has on Megan, because nobody else is really listening or giving her that time of the day to let her know that we are here for you. Once again, her aunt is trying to do everything she's doing as far as this toy and this job or whatever. So that's kind of taking her time away, not even her time, but that time to spend with Katie. Meg, though, she's there. She's always going to be there. You got a friend in me. But yeah, man, the bully, this nigga is the bullies of bullies, the same ones you get in It and other horror movies as far as those kid bullies. Meg, as far as horror elements, as far as her and what she's doing in the movie, I did enjoy it. That once again, they weren't scary to me. I didn't feel like it was a moment where I was sitting there like, oh no, wait a minute. Creepy moments, I will give you that. Once again, this one scene in particular where she chases somebody and she starts doing like some breakdancing type of shit. And I ain't gonna get too much of the detail, but I'm telling you, when you see the scene, it's funny, but it's creepy too. And I can put maybe it's a little, it could possibly be scary for some people. I will say that. But overall, I feel like this movie is not scary. It is fun though. It's a fun horror movie, and I can even say it's a fun thriller. The people that she going after though, like, it ain't no sense of urgency. That's what I will say. It's not no sense of urgency, because you looking at these people like, I mean, go ahead, man, do what you need to do. Straight up. Outside of that though, man, once y'all get a chance to check this out, y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. I'll definitely be doing some, I ain't gonna say I'm gonna do a spoiler review, but I'll be going into spoilers more than likely on Uncut His Talk once everybody get a chance to check it out. Probably not this week, probably the next week. But anyway, y'all let me know how y'all feeling about this. Once again, I didn't want to get into certain details because I didn't want to spoil too many things, but this movie is definitely straightforward. It ain't too much that they trying to do outside of the box. Like I said, they made a good, fun horror movie, and they gave you a doll that actually does things, not like Annabelle lazy ass. JAMESWAN, I know you did a lot of producing, and you pretty much was our introduction to Annabelle in that first Conjuring movie, so you probably was listening and like, yeah, I need to bring y'all something else. Even though I know he didn't technically do this movie, but I know he produced it, and you could tell that he had his hands on a lot of things in this movie, especially with certain scenes. Outside of that, this definitely gave me, once again, the reminders of Child's Play, that reboot, and even some Evil Dead moments. But y'all, let me know how y'all feeling about M3GAN. Did it live up to how I was feeling as far as my hype? I might have overhyped myself for it. That's probably my own issue. But it still was a good movie, and it definitely has repeat value. I'm definitely going to be checking it out more than once. Outside of that, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell, let you know when I upload new videos. Other than that, we out.